Good day, all, and welcome to a very special episode of the Fresh CrEd. Ed and I are very fortunate today to be joined by Charlie Rocket Jabaley. Charlie is a globally recognized serial entrepreneur, speaker, and influencer. Charlie is the former manager of 2 Chainz, Grammy-nominated and winning rap artist, and the previous founder of CrEd Execs, an Atlanta-based hip-hop firm managing megastars such as Travis Porter, Young Dolph, and Bankroll. As a young CEO at CrEd Execs, Charlie sold millions of records, changed the trajectory of how to market to millennials, and guided the careers of influential artists like Grammy Award-winning 2 Chainz. While all the success was pouring in, Charlie was battling depression, binge eating, crippling insecurities, and a brain tumor. To everyone on the outside, CEO Charlie was crushing it. On the inside, he was dying, unhealthy, unhappy, unfulfilled. Charlie retired in 2017 from the music industry and the name CEO Charlie. At the age of 29, he made the decision to reinvent his life in pursuit of his childhood dream to become an athlete and share his story. From the flames emerged his new identity, Charlie Rocket. Within 2 years, Charlie Rocket lost 135 pounds, ran 3 marathons, reversed the growth of his brain tumor, and became an Ironman. Shortly after, he did a Dream Machine bike tour across America and was featured on Runner's World magazine while securing a partnership with Nike. Charlie's story has inspired millions across the globe and has landed the spotlight of Forbes, ABC News, CBS, Fox, Adweek, Daily Mail, Inc., EM, and many more. Since all of Charlie's dreams have come true, along with his Dream Machine Foundation, Charlie has dedicated the rest of his life to making others' dreams come true. You can follow Charlie on Instagram, and you can join his mission to make 1 million dreams come true via the Dream Machine website. That's dreammachineusa.org. Join in with the Dream Machine and join Charlie and help 1 million dreams come true. So without further ado, let's get the show started.
With 50-plus years of combined produce, supply chain, entrepreneurial, and business experience, Craig Slade and Ed Bertad discuss the impacts of fresh produce on their lives and health. This podcast is a casual conversation between 2 friends just trying to get better. This is the Fresh CrEd.
Well, hey, Ed. Look at you, man.
Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to Dallas, Texas. Or I guess technically Grapevine.
Yeah.
So
Your ex-hometown? I mean, is it always your hometown? Or
it's always my hometown.
Okay.
I mean, Dallas boy, you can't take that out of me. I love coming back and seeing family and friends. And then, even better yet, meeting new friends like our young man that joins us here, Mr. Charlie Rocket Jabaley.
I'll go for that.
Yeah? But yeah, thank you very much. And he's better known as AKA Charlie Rocket.
Hey, thank you.
That's his fame. But
Welcome. Thanks for being with us.
yeah, Charlie, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
This is a super pleasure to have you here with us, and we're just excited to talk. And as we get in before the introduction to you, just a little bit about the show,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And kind of the theme and what we hope to accomplish with this. So Ed and I started this. We had been talking to each other about different things, changes in life, particularly around food. That was kind of a big deal and had an impact on us. But we just talked about other things, got into meditation, different things like that.
Fasting.
Fasting, and we thought, I love podcasts, and I was getting most of my information from podcasts. We're in this produce business, which is pretty well based in terms of people getting healthy. We thought, let's do a podcast, but it's going to be you and I talking, and, ideally people will find some nuggets in there that maybe they can help or change their lives. Well, I think people maybe got tired of just me and Ed talking, so we started bringing in other folks like yourself, high performers, people that had achieved success, and not just financial success, really, health success or life success, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's got a journey. So you fit this profile perfectly for what we're doing. The idea is for this conversation really that hopefully through you sharing with us, the audience will be able to take something away, and maybe we change somebody's life, right?
That's the goal.
That's the whole deal. So
Yes,
I know it's a bit of a lengthy intro into what we're doing, but I felt like the context is important, for what we try and do with the show. So looking at, and again, I've already figured out that maybe I shouldn't believe everything I read on the internet, but born in Atlanta, Georgia,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Now residing in L.A.
Yes, sir.
You were highly successful in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you were pretty successful in the tennis shoe business as a young man.
Mm-hmm.
And then
We're successful at cutting class.
That too.
Both, I guess.
Exactly.
One doesn't happen without the other.
But you were a young man. You had a dream of being an athlete, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And that dream had escaped you for a long time. You can hopefully talk a little bit about the life-changing events that took place. But you lived out your dream, and now I understand you're looking to make 1 million people at least fill out their dreams. Is that all fair to say?
That is absolutely.
Cool.
Well, honestly, man, there was a point where I buried a dream, and I think that's something we can all relate to. Because we grow up, and when we're kids, everybody tells us you can do anything you want.
Yep.
Then you get to a certain age, and the climate starts changing a little bit. They say, no, you need to do something more realistic. Hold on. It's contradictory. I was told I could do anything. Now I need to be realistic. So that word realistic, and I guess it's just a fear mindset, which is normal. As humans, we're supposed to be fearful and protecting of anything bad that's attacking us. I guess that's like our genetic makeup is like, for cavemen, we got to look out for the lion, So, having that fear, you'll bury a dream to do something realistic. And for me, I was always, in my mind, going to be a big-time athlete. But I was always like short, slow, overweight. So I started having conversations with myself of like, all right, I got to be good at something in life because I can't do this dream of mine. But I didn't choose the dream. It was just in me. It's like I remember when I walked into a gymnasium for the very first time at Chamblee United Methodist Church. It was a gym, and I walked in those doors, and I saw the light glistening off of the floor. I knew I was home. I had never felt a feeling like that in my life. I was like, the smell, everything. I was like, this is life. Like, I love this. I love that magical feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I had to bury that. And I was like, all right, I'm going to become a businessman. Like most people bury their dreams to like make money.
Right.
And I got good at that. And it was great. I was in the music business, Atlanta, very like just, it's a music city. It's an entertainment city. And that's what I felt I could be good at. My dad was a blues musician. So I kind of grew up around it. My mom was a vacuum cleaner salesperson. So I was like, you know what, let me like take what my dad does with music, my mom does with sales, and then that's going to make a really good manager. It's like, I'm going to go knock on doors at radio stations instead of knocking on doors in the neighborhood, and just try to close deals for my clients, my artists. And it worked. I got really good at it, but I was really out of alignment health-wise. The bigger my business got, the bigger I got. And it was literally
How old were you at that time when you started?
18.
18.
Yeah, 18 years old.
So
I had to do something because my mom was on me about going to college.
Okay.
I was like, I went, but I was like, I need an escape route. and I was actually on campus at a community college in Atlanta. I was on campus when my phone rang from Interscope Records, and they liked what I was doing in the like little Atlanta hip hop scene, and they had signed this artist, and he said, I want Charlie to be my cameraman. At the time, I was providing services to artists like filming and promotions. And this one artist, his name was Soulja Boy, he blew up, and he's like, I want him to be my cameraman. So, out of college, I'm on tour, baby. We started off in we call it the Chitlin Circuit, the little small towns in the South. And we were in a minivan in Montgomery, Alabama. 3 months later, #1 song in the world, like performing with like Kanye West at the VMAs and Hugh Hefner's suite in Las Vegas, like with the pool that goes out. And I'm like, where am I? I'm like, this is what's possible, like as a human. Like, so I was on top of the world, got fired, said I'm going to be a manager, got into management instead of being a cameraman, and it worked. Got to the top of the music business, nominated, winning Grammys and world tours, but I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I was sick. I was very sick. I was 300 pounds, and you start thinking about, is this over? And I didn't want that to be the end of my story, because my dreams at night, literally, like as I'm sleeping, not like my dreams, like what I want to do, but my dreams while I was asleep would be like these dreams of me dying. And the thought would be, I died before I got to know what it was like to experience my dream. And those dreams would really affect me, because it's like, I need to know what it's like. I can't experience this life and be like, here's this kid who died. Or no, here's this kid that buried a dream, made money, and then died. That can't be my story. So I actually walked away from the music industry, and I asked myself...
At that point, how old were you? I'm sorry.
28.
28.
So I was in the music game for 10 years. And I asked myself one simple question. If you are what you eat, is what I'm eating dead or alive? And it was real simple. Processed foods, like even like something that they like say is healthy, like let's say like a Cliff Bar, or like ice cream, which is not healthy, but like, these things that are in packages. That's what like I was addicted to as like a 300-pound like, food addict. I was addicted to like processed stuff, and it could sit on the shelf for years and not go bad. That is dead. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, no wonder I'm facing the challenges I'm facing, because I'm not eating anything that's alive. When I changed my choice to remove all processed foods and eat living foods, if I were to hold an orange in my hand and put it like an instrument on it that's like looking at its like energy, that thing is glowing with life. It is vibrating. And then when you eat that, you glow, you vibrate, you are what you eat. And our bodies are equipped to heal. Like if we give it the right tools. It's like if I were to get a cut right now, my body will heal if I put something clean on that wound. If I put something dirty, it won't heal. It'll actually make it worse. Mm-hmm. So our bodies are designed to heal, but we got to put that clean thing. That's why fruits and vegetables for me changed my life, saved my life, actually gave me superpowers. Because I had never experienced in my life what it was like to vibrate. We are all vibrating. We're either going to vibrate a little bit. It's like trying to talk on a cell phone in an elevator. Little vibration, but can't fully connect. Mm-hmm. Versus walking off the elevator, cell phone, full bars, full connection. You can connect with anything that you want if you just have the connection. And that's what fruits and vegetables did for me. And saved my life, reversed my brain tumor. I was able to create a whole new life of running marathons, doing an Ironman. I rode my bike across America. I got to become
that
my
athlete.
Dream. I got to be in the biggest Nike commercial of all time, magically. Not something like I technically like did. I didn't have a relationship with Nike. It was just literally my dream that I always saw as a kid, that I was going to be a big time athlete, but the weight and stuff actually ended up becoming my greatest gift. All the things that were wrong with me became what Nike was attracted to.
Right.
Nike didn't need another perfect athlete. They got those. They needed a dreamer athlete.
Yeah.
And they created an entire campaign where they signed over 200 other athletes like myself who were dreamers, who had something wrong. And they created a commercial that made the stock price go up $4 billion based upon a story that I created. And I got to be in the commercial and got to win an Emmy. And in that moment, I was like, my dream came true. Let me reach my hand back and make other people's dreams come true. Because I got to experience what it was like to be a millionaire, but also sick and unhealthy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Maybe a new type of millionaire. One that like helps a million people. And so I was like, give me a goal big enough that it'll take me the rest of my life to do. Because music industry, it wasn't, in the scheme of things, it wasn't that hard. Yeah. I did my work. I was very ambitious. I worked my butt off. I was of servitude, and I was able to rise. But how could I take that servitude and ambition for other people's and create a movement? And that's what we did with the Dream Machine Foundation, and it's growing.
How lucky do you feel that all happened at such a young age? I mean, you talk about that whole trajectory. I mean, that's why I kept asking you, how old were you? Because I know you're relatively young. You're still a young man. So it's amazing to me. First, I mean, how lucky do you feel that at 28, even though you know the circumstances were obviously unfortunate with the brain tumor, but you were able to turn things around. And I'm not even talking about the financial success, the health success that we talked about earlier. That you know how you must feel very, very lucky to feel so great today, and still have so much time to do more.
It doesn't even feel real. It literally feels like a dream. And sometimes I even question, is any of this real? I'm like, am I living in a simulation? Like, am I watching a movie? It is, like, I have to pinch myself.
Yeah.
But that's what's possible in a life.
Yeah, because I can't compare it to, sorry, Craig.
No, go ahead.
I can't compare what I had to a brain tumor, but I had chronic gastritis that
What
developed gastritis, just chronic in my late 30s. And I struggled with it for years. I literally was just on survival mode for the better part of 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Almost 50.
I'll kill you. Survival mode?
Yeah, it was just survival mode for a long time. But I wasn't disciplined enough to make a change. And kind of right around before we started doing the podcast is when I really started listening to Craig. He had gotten on a health kick, years back, and I thought he was a little nuts, frankly.
That's still the case.
And then he came up, with this idea for the cleaning challenge with our organization here with VivaFresh. And even at the time, I didn't think I needed it. I actually thought I was doing him a favor by volunteering, supporting him. And then I went through the process and realized that, life could be so much better. So I'm super thankful every day. I wish I would have known it, when like 10 years before, like you did. But I kept eating the same stuff. I just wasn't disciplined enough to make the change. And it is amazing. Everything you said about living food and dead food, quote unquote, is right on. I mean, it's awesome. So it blows me away that, obviously you went to see, physicians for your tumor situation, but did you have any other help, dietitians, anybody, or you just do a lot of research yourself, or how did that?
I went to a longevity center.
Oh, wow.
Where like old people go to figure out how to, and they like make you go to classes. Like it's not just like, get your blood test done and exercise. No. They teach you, and I'm like sitting in each class, like taking every note. I want to know everything. I was desperate. I want to know everything there is to know about how to heal. And at this longevity center, I would literally watch 85-year-old ladies in walkers in 2 weeks not need a walker and not need blood pressure medication from food.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So here, and this is the question that I ask, I ask myself. I ask other people that have figured this out. And I know other stories of other people that Ed's influenced, I've influenced, other people that have been part of, the circle keeps getting bigger. But the question I have, right, with your testimonial or with Ed's testimonial or with me or whatever, how is it there's still so many people that won't pick up the baton, and they think like Ed said, they think you're crazy because you eat once a day, because you're a faster, and you avoid certain foods, and you try and avoid the pack, and you read labels if you're buying. I mean, all the things that you do to try and at least maintain it. How do we get more people? But the testimonial's there. I don't know, and maybe there's no answer, but that's my big question always.
I think I know the answer.
Okay.
I remember, like me growing up in the South, the education of health just didn't exist. When I was really sick, I said, where's the healthiest place in America? And I'm going to go live there. And I identified Santa Monica, California. I was like, I'm going there. And I would like talk to people, and somebody would say the word spirulina. I'm like, what's that? I'm like, I've never heard of that. They say ashwagandha. I'm like, what is that? And it's just the education for me wasn't there. But what transpired over the next maybe like 5 years after moving, which to now is like I watch Netflix. Some of the biggest documentaries in the world are health documentaries. Like the biggest, like not like for health people, like the world is fascinated, and Netflix has really pushed a narrative of health that like this next generation, like I'm sitting there making my mom watch a documentary with me. And so like this next generation, my generation, I'm a millennial, but there's generations below me that like all they do, like they're growing up and they're educating their parents and their grandparents. And that is happening because it is becoming way more normal today. And this is the only time in history where like when I was young, I had a friend who was vegan. And I thought it was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, excuse me? I had a friend also whose mom was vegetarian, but they were from California. They were both from California. That's what they had in common. And I'm like, this is weird. But now it's not. It's just not weird anymore. It's quite common. And the education, I believe, is being pushed by the mainstream media a lot more than it ever has been, mainly Netflix. But the evidence is out there. The science is out there. Like what happens to the body when you put those living foods in there. And now you have people like podcasters.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the biggest podcasters in the world is a scientist guy, Andrew Huberman. And it's just like, these are the narratives. Sometimes not. Sometimes a lot of the big guys will say only eat meat. But like, there's no denying that fruit, and there's nothing wrong with meat, just more fruits and vegetables, more.
My concern is that there's a lot of education and people are interested. It's the adoption or it's the application, right? And I mean, you look at social media and there's either excess or severe discipline, and there's not a lot of mid ground, right? It's folks showing their plate of whatever, right? Some crazy rich meal or somebody talking about, intermittent fasting. So there's like no middle ground, and maybe that's what's scary to folks, and they want to learn about, lifestyle. It's just that it's taking that step to actually the application.
Yeah, the guy. So there's a podcaster, Peter Attia. I don't know if you've ever heard it. If you haven't, you would love his stuff. But he's a doctor.
Okay.
Tanya, my wife, accuses me of having a man crush on him. Maybe there's a little of that there. But he's amazing. It's like going to biology class.
Okay.
But his deal is, he is he's about longevity, health span. Really, is and that's my whole thing, right? I used to vision myself when I'd go to a hospital to see somebody. I was like, you're going to be here at some point.
Yeah.
How quick do you want to get here, right? Or maybe you can avoid it. But
about
the
that
idea,
hospital is it has a McDonald's in it. It's very interesting.
Yeah. They
very
create their
interesting.
own. They create their own businesses. I mean, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
He actually said something that was my aha moment, and I don't know if he stole it from somebody or not, but he said, "One day I know it's going to be the end for me, and how that end transpires, I have control of now." And that's, I'm paraphrasing, but that one got me.
Yeah,
like, that really made me think.
Well, that's my one of my crazy theories that I've kind of come up with is, so I'm a Christian, believe in God, and I believe He obviously had a day for us to be born. And there's a part of me that thinks the day I'm going to die is really in his hands, not mine. He said everything in between is up to you. And so I figure, what time I've been given, I'm going to try and at least live it, both health-wise, but entertainment. I mean, I enjoy my life because I don't know how much I get. And like I say, I live in fear of that day of being in that hospital bed, getting that diagnosis.
Well, it's the difference between dying and the way you die.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's suffering for 10, 15 years before you die, or
I want to run to the finish line. I tell everybody, I said, I want to run across the finish line, not crawl across or whatever, right? So anyway, that's what drives me. But again, we can sit here and talk about it, and that's trying to get other folks. I mean, your story or Ed's story, it has an impact, obviously, but I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be a way that we can connect more people on some of this stuff.
The only thing I would say to anybody who hasn't adopted it is, like, honestly, it's really not that bad. You get really trained quickly to want to do it because you start feeling really good. I eat healthy, but, like, if I'm not stressed, I can experience a high off of, like, eating, almost like coffee a little bit. Like, there are these sensations that happen, and when the inflammation goes away and that skin clears up, then you become really motivated to do it. And you're like, like for breakfast this morning, I ate some watermelon and some oatmeal. Like, people say eating healthy is, like, really expensive. honestly, the oatmeal packet's about $1. And like, some watermelon, depending if you buy it cut up or not, it's really not that much.
And if you add up the medical bills, that all that cheap food,
True.
It's not cheaper.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's more painful and it's more expensive.
The most expensive part of eating healthy is that you're going to live longer and you're going to need some money for those extra years. But we will all be willing to pay that extra money because it's like, all right, if I live 10 years longer, I'll take it. What does it cost?
Yeah.
I'll pay anything.
Yeah. Well, and you were talking about some of these, items that are a little bit more trendy, but even the basic, an apple, a banana,
absolutely,
a pear. It
it's
doesn't
alive.
have to be the trendiest commodity, the newest thing, things you have never heard about. We talked about the relationship we have, or people in general have, with food, and how even what you eat is just it's fuel.
Absolutely.
And every meal doesn't have to be even conventional. You don't have to have like a full-on 5-course meal every time you eat. You're just eating for fuel. And I never thought about it that way. And now that I do, it's freed up so much of the hang-up.
Oh yeah.
And that hang-up is really what I think gets people.
Well, what's the definition of a calorie? The actual definition.
I think it's a measure unit of
it's a measure. It's energy. It's
energy.
Energy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Energy. So it's like, all right, we're in Texas. Energy. You gonna put clean fuel in,
right?
Or you gonna put some dirty stuff? How's that car gonna run? Clean fuel. When they talk about like an energy bar, that ain't energy. 5-hour energy. That's not energy. Calorie is energy. Our bodies are designed to literally, if we just give it what it needs, it will be super rocket fuel, not the little fake stuff.
During the pandemic. And this came to me, but we're not in the produce business. We're in the energy business.
Come on, baby.
And we're the most efficient caloric intake that you can get out there. It's the cleanest and the most efficient for your body. Yep. Flat out. There's no question.
Nothing can compete with it.
What's that? It really, you can't. And
God made it.
That's that. Yeah, and that's what that's the thing for me. It kind of flips. Like, yeah, we're in the energy business, and we're in the best space, right? We are the environmentally friendly, in terms of body.
I might steal that from my speech, if that's all right.
Absolutely, please do.
That's some good stuff.
He's gonna faint.
Yeah,
or he'll stand up. One or the other.
Well, hey, look, we could go for all day. I know you don't have all day. I
know he's going to want to follow up with us.
We'll regroup. Well, literally, I want to take a few minutes, talk a little bit about your foundation, let you talk a little bit about that, what you're doing, and just let everybody know how to get into it. But, I think, however we can, Ed and I, and whether it's the show or whatever, in the future, if there's an opportunity for us to partner with you guys and do stuff,
yes, sir.
Love to, because I'm at a point in my career where I'm really on that side of trying to say, how do I maybe give back, right? How do I get on that other side and do that? So I'm right there with you. Love it. But like I say, give us a little bit on the foundation that you founded, what you're doing, what how people can get involved, that kind of stuff.
Well, honestly, the foundation side of what I do is the most fun I've ever had in my life. We tour around the country in a bus called the Dream Machine. Actually, I kicked it off when I biked across America in 2018. But then when the pandemic hit, I was like, we need to double down on this. Yeah. We need to go out here.
But now, weren't you in a bus with Soulja Boy?
I was in a bus with Soulja Boy.
Now, which is more fun, the bus ride with Soulja Boy?
One
Dream Machine.
Okay,
trust me.
I have the feeling that one hit a lot more salad bars than the other one.
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
Sorry
we were a rolling salad bar.
I couldn't resist that. Sorry, go ahead.
But no, man, we tour around the country, and I just wanted to give back that feeling of what a dream come true moment feels like. I got to experience mine. How many people actually get to experience that dream come true? Or as my friend Jeff Hoffman says, that red carpet moment. You see it on the movies and then the TV, but how many of us actually get to experience that? And I remember when I was in St. Louis, there was a little girl named Lila, and she was selling cookies on the side of the road, and it said for CRPS. And I was like, what is CRPS? She said, well, it's a rare disease I have. And I said, what's your dream? She said, to afford this treatment. I'm like, little 10-year-old girl, wow. Her dream is to have a treatment? I was like, what's your dream if that didn't exist? She said, I want to be a baker. There's this kid's baking show. I want to be on it. I was like, what do you bake? She's like, cookies. I was like, can I try one? Tasted it. It was amazing. So over the next 3 weeks, me and my team, we turn into like superhero mode. We're like, okay, let's build her own bakery business. Let's take over a bakery in St. Louis and let it be hers for the day. Let's get the media. Let's get everybody right around raising her money for her treatment. We threw a pop-up bakery for her at this amazing bakery, and the line down the street was about a mile long.
Mm-hmm.
5,000 people showed up to buy her cookies.
That's great.
But then we launched her website, and we were telling all these stories on the internet. We launched our website and sold 130,000 cookies in a week. She did $500,000 in sales. But we spun up this business. We found a manufacturer I said, y'all are going to need to shut down y'all's operation. They make cookies for Starbucks, like the gingerbread cookies. Uh-huh. They shut down their operation for a couple weeks to make Lila's cookies. And we got them all shipped out, custom packaging. We literally built her a business in a couple weeks, and she got to experience that. She obviously got to have her funding for the treatment, but not just one time. She can afford that funding for a long time, and just took a lot of pressure off the family. So
it's amazing.
That's what we do. We do big ones. We do small ones. Sometimes it's a kid's dream to just go to Disney World. And we'll link that kid up with like a real life princess. Like we have a friend, she's an actual princess from Africa. Mm-hmm. And you can take her she can go to Disneyland with a princess. So like those are the things we do, those dream come true moments. And we do it every day. We have a place in LA called the Dream Factory. It's like a community center where we throw events and stuff. And, anytime you want to join us.
All right.
Always. We'll do it for the rest of our lives. So you can join whenever you want.
Now, I might just take you up on that for sure.
All right. Now.
You got is there a website or how do they connect it?
DreamMachineUSA.org. DreamMachineUSA.org. If anybody wants to donate, please. That's what fuels the dreams as donors. And just in case you're wondering, I do not draw a salary. People always worry about that with foundations.
Yeah, I mean,
how much you get paid? Nothing.
That's a good point. I mean, that's
no. Yeah, I love putting that out front because people don't trust foundations too much. Yeah, that's all right.
That's fair.
I mean, like I said, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being at VivaFresh, being our keynote speaker. Really super excited to see that as well coming up. This time with you has been great. And
I think your story is going to resonate with a lot of folks. So
it's going to be fun.
I'm excited to hear
Are y'all sitting in the front?
We'll be there.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is what I need from y'all. If y'all are sitting in the front, whoever's in the front creates the energy for the whole room.
All right.
Okay.
So, little energy will be good.
Okay.
Right, so you want interactivity.
We can do that.
There we go.
All right.
I
think we can do that.
Yeah, we can bring the energy. We can bring that. And like I said, it's been great. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you,
and
man.
Look forward to
you got a great team.
Yeah.
Shout out to the team.
Shout out to the back, for sure. And
Mason.
Ed, any closing remarks? Wrapping it up here, buddy.
I'll tell you what. I mean, we've been here for a couple of days now, but really the content part of the expo is starting, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. I mean, we've got a long, exciting day today and tonight and tomorrow, and we'll be in the fishbowl in the expo all day tomorrow. That's going to be super interesting. So this is what we've been planning for.
It has.
Just execute.
And there's no better way to be kicking this thing off than
I don't think
this
so.
interview right here. So pretty spectacular. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We're
y'all.
out of here, and we'll catch y'all later. We're out.